Barcelona 3, Real Madrid 2. What a game of football that was. El Clasico just always delivers. What a game of football. Couldn't have asked for more from that game. Two completely different styles of football, two completely different setups, two completely different halves of football, to be honest, but entertainment nevertheless. That game had pretty much everything. So many individual unbelievable performances, so many individual unbelievable players, to be honest. You had Barcelona in the first half just completely dictating this game. There is no team better than dictating and controlling a game than Barcelona with Pedri and De Jong. They sped up the game when they needed to. They slowed it down when they needed to. They absolutely dictated everything in the first half. And then Real Madrid came out in the second half and just flipped it. They were pressing so much higher, so much more aggressively. They absolutely rattled Barcelona. It was exactly what they needed to do because as a team, you could tell that they weren't at it. Barcelona play as a team, as a unit, cohesion. Real Madrid is just a team of individuals. And to be honest, in the second half, it worked. Even at the end of the first half, get the ball to Vinicius and he will create something. His goal, unbelievable solo goal. But team cohesion is just not there. They've just got the individuals to come up with brilliant, brilliant moments. And we saw that from Vinicius Jr. But in the end, Barcelona just had enough quality in that final third that Real Madrid didn't have at the end of the second half. Raphinha, 100% man of the match for him. Barcelona getting him back fit is crucial. They are so much better with him in the team. He is absolutely integral to the way they play and their success. You thought it wasn't going to be his day when he missed that chance where Yamal puts the ball through to him. He doesn't take the chance well at all. And then just a minute or two later, he shifts the ball onto his left foot, creating that gap between Tchouaméni's legs and drills it into the bottom corner. An unbelievable finish and an unbelievable way to make up for that terrible finish a few minutes earlier. But one thing that can never be said about Raphinha is that he doesn't turn up in big games. He is always there. Every single big game that he is needed, he turns up, especially against Madrid. He absolutely loves playing against Madrid. 2 goals from him tonight, 2 very different goals. The first one, an unbelievable finish. The second one, the fact he manages to get a shot off and then gets a bit of luck with the deflection. Unbelievable footballer. And it isn't just what he offers going forward creatively. He does it all. He is rapid. He is so fast. But not only that, defensively, he puts in a shift. What a football player he is. And on the other side, Lamine Yamal took a little bit of time to get into this game. The first 15-20 minutes, I thought Carreras has got him here. He didn't really have a lot. And every time he got on the ball, he really didn't do much with it. He gave it away a few times. But it was that pass through to Raphinha where Raphinha missed that big chance. That ignited something in Yamal and he turned it on. That ball alone, what an unbelievable pass that was. First time, whipping it with his left foot past the defenders. And for me, that's a real underrated part to his game. Obviously, we know how good he is in terms of speed, close control, his whipped shots when he cuts in. We know what he's really, really good at. But passing, I think, is a bit underrated from him. Like I say, that ball that he played into Raphinha, where he missed the chance, was unbelievable. But not only that, when he does cut inside from deep, he finds Lewandowski between the centre-backs so often. Inch-perfect passes to find Lewandowski or whoever is up front. One thing that should be said, though, is how alone he leaves Koundé. Koundé had a terrible time today against Vinicius. Admittedly, Vinicius was absolutely on it. But Real Madrid's game plan really was pass it to Vinicius, let him just use his pace and his trickery to ruin Koundé, and it worked multiple times, especially for the goal, which was an unbelievable bit of brilliance, by the way. But Barcelona are such an interesting team. I mean, on the ball, they controlled the game. The first half, they absolutely controlled the game. Like I say, De Jong, Pedri, if those two can get time on the ball, then they will just win games. They just dictate games so well. They keep the ball, they're so patient with it, and they keep it at such a slow pace that they allow Raphinha and they allow Yamal to just jink every now and then and up the pace, and it catches teams off guard. It catches teams so off guard because of how slow the pace is that, like a Man City, they just keep the ball at a very slow pace, really patient, and then they've got players like Yamal and Raphinha who can just up the pace really, really quickly And like I say, catches teams off guard. It caught Real Madrid off guard a few times, and they are so dangerous. They look so good, such a good footballing unit. Real Madrid, on the other hand, kind of the complete opposite. They seem to me just like a team of individuals. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't watch Real Madrid every single week in, week out, but it really does seem like a team of individuals. And don't get me wrong, those individuals are unbelievable and will win you games single-handedly. Like against some other teams, Vinicius may have won this game for Real Madrid single-handedly. And this is without Mbappe, who when he came on barely touched the ball. He had a little bit of influence towards the end of the game for those chances, but other than that, he was making these runs and players just couldn't find him at all. But the way that Barca set up is really interesting as I go back to that. They keep the ball so well, but they play such a high line, which against teams that don't quite have the pace can and will work really effectively. But it's such a brave way to play against Vinicius, against Rodrigo. I mean, against Garcia, he's pretty quick himself. If it was Mbappe up there as well, I'm sure that more problems would have been caused from the start. But they were caught out so many times. To begin the game, when Vinicius went through right at the beginning, he was so selfish. He should have squared the ball. I think Rodrigo and Garcia were waiting for the ball to be squared, and he takes a tame shot. Again, when Garcia gets put through as well early in the game, he just fluffs his lines. Real tame shot from him as well. But boy, did they make up for those misses. Vinicius's goal, my word. He had Koundé on toast today. A lot of the time it was just through pure pace as well. He just knocked the ball past him and run. Koundé couldn't do anything and he was left one-on-one with him a lot. This is why I say Yamal maybe needed to do more in terms of tracking back. But I guess that's not his game and that's fair. But the way Vinicius took his goal, unbelievable. And even the way Garcia took his goal at the end of the second half in that 5 minutes of madness. He tries to get a shot off and somehow can't. And then he's stumbling around and manages to get a shot off of his right foot that just clips the bar and goes in. The pure persistence from Garcia to even get that shot off was brilliant. And you could see that when Real Madrid came back out in the second half, they were ignited. A couple of other points to talk about from the game as well. Jude Bellingham, he just can't have his influence on games when Real Madrid are playing the way they do. In the first half, they were just basically sitting in and hoping to catch them on the break with Vinicius. Real Madrid can't get out at all, and that means that Bellingham can't have the impact he wants to. And like I say, I haven't watched Real Madrid every single game this season, but the ones I have watched, that has been the case, where he can't have the impact he needs to. But defensively, he had a really good game, and he's actually had a really good season defensively. He's been really good at breaking up play, and today would have been his hardest test for that against Pedri, against De Jong, against Fermin, Yamal, Raphinha. But I thought he dealt with it pretty well. And then at the end of the game, obviously Frenkie De Jong got that red card. A bit of a silly challenge, to be honest. He went down too early, and then his foot kind of just ended up going up in the air. It's very hard when you go down that early to make a movement with your leg or with your foot that doesn't end up in your foot going up in the air. But the two chances that Real Madrid had at the end, I think it was Carreras, the first one, where he just passed it to Joan Garcia. A terrible effort. You'd want anyone but him on the end of that chance, to be honest. So left-footed, he maybe should have just struck it with his right foot, although that could have gone anywhere. And then it was Asensio with the header, again, straight down Joan Garcia's throat. Any other player on either of those chances, and there's a good chance that that game ends 3-3 and we're getting more football, which would have been very interesting. And that game, I'd have loved more football. Absolutely unbelievable football match. But that rounds out this one. If you liked the video, make sure you hit like, make sure you subscribe. A lot more to come from this channel, so make sure you're doing that. Comment below what your thoughts were on that game. I thought it was unbelievable. El Clasico always delivers. I will see you in the next one.